Do you feel trapped? Could be in your job or a relationship or just a general feeling that you have in your life. Like there's nowhere to go and there's nothing that could fix whatever it is that's making you miserable. This is the horrible feeling of being stuck. And today we're going to be talking about how to get you unstuck. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel where you are what matters. Today we're going to be talking about how to get you unstuck. And remember, if you want to increase your motivation, boost your productivity, and reduce your overall stress, get started now by hitting the subscribe button below. Being stuck. Ugh, right? Like just thinking about it gives me the yuck. Like I wish I could just scrape the feelings off of my body. It's awful and it's exhausting because if you're stuck, you've probably thought about what you could do, and you just can't seem to come up with something to fix your problem. So while you may or may not know what you need to do to get out of your situation, you do know that you're going to have to do something different. You're stuck between wanting a change and doing something to actually make that happen, which, if we're honest, is even more exhausting, right? Because you're miserable and you know something needs to change, but that kind of sounds like a lot of work. But then if you don't change, then you're the reason that you're miserable. And if the change you know you need to make is scary, which of course it is because that's the reason why we avoid change is because it's scary, then you're caught in the middle of it sucks to be here and I have no guarantee that if I make a change, anything will get any better. So what do? We sit around wishing for some external change to come along and fix our problem. Like, maybe that person at work that's driving you crazy will spontaneously be fired, even though the bosses love them. Yeah, most of the times, the things that would actually fix our problems are the most unlikely scenario, but we still pin our hopes to them. So today, instead of tossing coins into a wishing well, I'm going to give you 5 strategies that you can use to work towards unsticking yourself. Before we get started today, I just want to make one thing clear. These are 5 steps that you can use to start unsticking yourself. They're not some sort of magical formula that's going to solve all your problems. Because honestly, if I could solve all of your problems in 5 steps, Elon Musk would be asking me for a loan. These steps are the starting of the car, the backing out of the driveway. Because up until now, you have just been sitting in the car not even knowing how to start it. I'm here to help you get started, but you're going to have to do the actual driving to your destination. So if all of this sounds like too much to do alone and you don't even want to think about trying to figure out how to do it yourself, check out the description box below. I'll have a link down there so that you can get on my calendar and have a free call with me to figure out whether life coaching will work for your problem and if I'm right for you. Okay, on to the first method. In order to figure out how to deal with the feelings of being stuck, you need to figure out what that actually means for you. Stuck is a feeling, not an emotion. It's a set of emotions around a particular situation. You probably don't feel stuck in every part of your life. And it's likely this area that you're feeling stuck in has probably been a bit of a problem area for a while. And because of that, you started ignoring it and the situation got worse. So what are you feeling when you think about that area of your life? Are you angry, sad, frustrated, resentful? And then once you label those feelings, think about what is making you feel that way. Maybe you really do have a horrible coworker that's making you feel miserable. Or maybe you feel like a big fish in a small pond, or a small pond in a big fish. Wait, that's not right. Maybe you feel like a small fish in a big pond, or a big fish in a small pond. There we go. Or maybe it's your personal life. Maybe you had a really bad breakup and you can't stop living in the past when things were good. So you can see now how 2 people could say that they feel stuck at work or they feel stuck in their love lives, but they could both be having completely different emotions that are causing that feeling of being stuck. So this is why you need to identify the actual emotions that are contributing to your stuck feeling. Sit down and think about it and very specifically label those feelings and where those feelings are coming from. So this practice is actually pretty big in terms of how you can manage your brain. By labeling your emotions, you get yourself some distance from them, which means you can stop swimming around in them and you can start using your logical brain. You can say, I actually am pretty freaking angry at that coworker. And then you can start to process why. So maybe you do this and you realize that you're actually really angry at your bosses because they hired someone from the outside for a position that you would have been perfect for. And you realize you're also pretty resentful of the person that they hired, even though it's not their fault. So this is how you start to work on the problem. You have to get clear on what emotions are causing you to feel stuck so that you can start to figure out where the emotions are coming from, so then you can figure out the actual problem that's causing you to feel stuck. One of the themes that I find very common when it comes to feeling stuck is that the person is living in the past. Something has changed that they don't like, and instead of adapting to the change or moving on or doing something about it, you just kind of sit around being miserable. Living in the past or even a potential future is a surefire way to mess up your mental health. You end up depressed or anxious, and that tends to come with a side of feeling stuck. While we may not have as much control over things as we might like to have, if you're not taking charge of the things that you do have control over, then things are not going to get better. And in fact, they might actually get worse. And then what happens? You want to live in the past even more. So there's a vicious cycle if I ever saw one. Now, this method might sound a little out there, but bear with me for a second. One of the ways to stop living in the past is through forgiveness. Whatever that change was that happened, whether you made the decision or not, is probably a source of pain for you. You might be angry or resentful at someone else for having caused this whole situation for you. Or you might be angry and resentful at yourself for having made the decision that got you here. So if someone else caused you pain, I am not saying that you need to go back to them and talk to them unless you feel like that's something that will help you. But what I am saying is that you can mentally forgive that person, because just sitting around being angry and miserable and resentful in your own life, it's like taking poison and hoping the other person will die. And you can certainly forgive yourself for making the decision that you did that got you here right now. Most of us don't intentionally make bad decisions. We do the best we can in the situation with the information that we have. Nobody can tell the future, and if you made what might be a mistake, just forgive yourself. You're human. Another reason for feeling stuck is that we tend to get caught in these negative circular thought patterns. It's why being stuck is so freaking exhausting and why we so easily give up on trying to figure something out. So imagine that you want a promotion at work. But every time something comes up, you get too scared to actually apply for the promotion because you don't feel good enough. So you keep wanting to get promoted and you keep not getting promoted because you're always too afraid to apply. Here's your circle of endless misery. You're going to have to get control of those negative thoughts if you want to get yourself unstuck. Every time you find yourself saying that you're not good enough or whatever your negative thought is that you have on repeat in your head, then you need to stop it. You need to interrupt it and prevent it from continuing. Then just replace that thought with its opposite or something good and positive. I am good enough, or whatever mantra or affirmation resonates with you. And do this every time the negative thought comes up. Stop it, change it, keep going. This will eventually change the habit that you have built of saying negative things to yourself into a habit of saying positive things to yourself. This will help you stop feeling trapped in your own thoughts, the thoughts that are preventing you from going after that promotion, so that you can start taking the steps that you need to get yourself unstuck. Let's see. All right. If you've tried to figure out why you feel stuck and you're just not coming up with anything, you might just be in a rut. You take the same route to work every day. You do the same workout. You eat the same food, or you eat at the same restaurants, and you just kind of feel meh. So if you're struggling really to pinpoint any one specific reason, then you might just want to try to shake things up a little bit. So try a different route to work, or try a new restaurant to eat at, or maybe Google another recipe to try, or take that online class that you've been wanting to try. This might help you solve your feelings of being stuck, or they might make it a little more clear about why you're feeling stuck in the first place. One of the other reasons that you might be feeling stuck is that you're not living your values. Maybe you took a job because it paid well, but you really hate the work. Or maybe you settled on a relationship or a place to live and it's no longer lighting you up. If you look at that particular part in your life where you're feeling stuck and some of the emotions that you have around it are not being interested or not being inspired, then it's time to bring some purpose back into that section of your life. So here are some questions that you can ask yourself that would help you discover what would make this section of your life way better than it is right now. So what fills up your gas tank? What makes you feel more energized? What gives you more energy than it takes away? What gets you in that time flies when you're having fun sort of state? What or who inspires you to do something better, like just to be a better person? And what makes you feel good? The answers to these questions are all going to help you discover your purpose and your passions. If you start chasing those things that light you up, instead of settling for good enough or convenient, then that feeling of being stuck will start to go away. Okay. So remember when I said in the beginning that this whole getting unstuck thing was going to be more of a journey? Certainly getting unstuck is absolutely the first step in the process, but there's going to be more work done in completing the journey. So it's probably not all going to get fixed in one day, but it's okay because you don't have to do it all at once and you don't have to do it perfectly. Don't let the perfect images that you see on social media be the thing that stops you from moving forward because you feel like your life can never be as good as theirs. Their lives aren't perfect either. It's just likely that they're not showing you the messy middle. And don't worry about how long it might take you to change. Progress is progress no matter how slow. Pretty sure that's a Dr. Seuss line. I would rather you take a baby step today and a baby step tomorrow and the next day and the next day, rather than spend your whole life planning to make a huge leap and then never do it because you were too scared to take the chance. Nothing beats overwhelm quicker than just taking the next right step, no matter how small that step is. Okay, that one's definitely from Frozen 2. Progress builds momentum, and you will start becoming that rolling stone so that you will be able to take bigger and bigger leaps the more momentum that you gain. Whenever you're feeling stuck or scared, just think to yourself, just do one thing that your future self will thank you for. All right, question of the day. Let me know down in the comments, what is one place you're feeling stuck and what's that one baby step that you're gonna take pretty much right now. Let us know down in the comments so that we can cheer you on. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did. It really helps me out into growing this channel. And also, if you want to boost your productivity, increase your motivation, and reduce your overall stress, hit the subscribe button too. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Before we get started, I want to make things, or maybe you had just given out. Love that I just totally got up, walked away from my camera, like left it running, no big deal. Don't have as much control as someone else for having, did say at the beginning, to help yourself to start the